What sells homes? Kitchens and bathrooms, right?
Exactly.
Kitchens and baths. So that, I think it's even, they've done studies on it. The number one for the highest return on investment, ROI, would be your kitchen and bathrooms.
I heard that you raked in a whole bunch of sports memorabilia at a golf outing.
Autographed Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey, an autographed Jahmyr Gibbs football, and an autographed 8x10 Dylan Larkin photo. Welcome, everyone, to the Real Estate Tailgate, episode 10, double digits. I'm Mike Mitchell. Allow me to take a sip of my liquid death here and allow me to introduce my partner and friend and mortgage extraordinaire, David Underwood.
Whoop, whoop. What's going on, folks? And wow, I didn't know I was a mortgage extraordinaire, but thanks.
You like that, huh?
I love it, man. Appreciate it. So what's going on, man? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. It's
You should be feeling good, man. I heard that you raked in a whole bunch of sports memorabilia at a golf outing last week that you went to with our trusted producer, Walter Hooper.
I did. This is a true story.
Yeah, that was quite the time. It was really hot that day, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, let me first thank Walter for the invite and get me in his foursome. We had a great time. Shorewood Kiwanis I golf with.
Yeah, that's right.
And Motor City, Michigan.
Motor City Mitten Mission,
which helps feed the homeless in Macomb County. So yeah, it was a great cause. And great day on the golf course. Hot as Hades, but
oh yeah.
And I love the heat, you know that, but it was hot. There was like no breeze.
Yeah.
But yeah, I cleaned up on some sports memorabilia.
Yeah. So tell everybody what you walked away with.
I walked away with autographed Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey, an autographed Jahmyr Gibbs football, and an autographed 8x10 Dylan Larkin photo. So that was for my wife. She's a big Larkin fan. She's met him several times with her work with Special Olympics. So she was pretty excited when I brought that home too. She never, she didn't want to ask him for his autograph when at those events. So.
No, that's awesome, man. And I also had an invite, and unfortunately I was not able to attend. So I hate you, man.
We missed you, Professor. We did. We really did. But met some great people there, met some new people. That's networking 101, man. People think you're just out there golfing. I made like 6 new contacts, to be honest with you.
That's awesome.
Met new people and had a good time and supported a local charity. So
yeah, and then we had a good time afterwards. Went to some local establishments in St. Clair Shores.
Visited a few breweries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
good day.
Actually, I hate you both.
Oh, too funny. Well, the NHL is over for the season, correct?
Yeah,
it is. So this isn't breaking news, and we're going to be like a week out, right? We're always a week behind, so everyone's going to know this. But yeah, exciting though. Game 7. Wow. Yeah,
I watched parts of the game. I had it on the other room. Knowing it was a historic game, I didn't realize how historic it was.
Yes.
But this was only, I think, the 18th Game 7 in a Stanley Cup playoff.
Correct.
And think about how long hockey's been around, man. When I heard that stat, I was like, wow.
It was a good game, too. I was rooting for Edmonton. I just wanted to see them make that comeback. I know everyone's like, oh, why are you rooting for the U.S. team? But I was like, I don't know. I just wanted to see them make that comeback. It was cool. I'm an underdog guy.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I was actually rooting for Florida early in the series, only because it's a U.S. team. But then during that last game, I didn't really even have a side. I was just like,
I think a lot of people didn't too.
Yes, I think it's just history either way. I mean, the Panthers ended up winning. It's their first Stanley Cup. But if Edmonton would have won, man, that would have been crazy. I think that would have only been the second time.
I don't know how many times, but I know the last time a team came back from down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals was 1942. So that's how long it's been.
Yeah.
And that was the Toronto Maple Leafs against our Detroit Red Wings.
Yep.
Yeah. So in 1942. But yeah, what a historic game! It was a great game too. I watched the whole game. It was a good game.
And it definitely wasn't a blowout.
It was a good game. And when Edmonton came right back and tied it, oh, what a pass too! What an amazing pass, and just it was exciting. And but I mean, two good teams. Florida's a good team, man. They are.
Yeah, so hockey's done, basketball's done, baseball's still strong, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean, baseball.
Wasn't there a stirrup? Wasn't there a stirrup in basketball?
Yeah, the Detroit Pistons fired their head coach, and I don't even.
And they brought in a.
Yeah.
Fired a general manager too, right?
Yeah,
or president or whatever.
Yeah, they brought in
a vice president of.
Oh, that's what it was.
Operations or whatever?
Operations, and he's from the Mavericks, I believe. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I don't even think our coach, he was signed for like how many years, and that immediately went.
Dude,
gone.
he cleaned up, man. He walked away with
millions. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. We're not going to talk about that all day, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, the contract he signed. Yeah, he walked away with money. I mean.
And he's probably glad to get out of here.
Well, actually, I don't know if you know this, but he still owed money from his last job. That's what I heard. He's owed millions when he left his previous
not he
job.
owes, he's owed.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I think he's still they're still paying him from his previous job. That's how short of a time he was with the Pistons. I think this contract he signed was don't even hold me. This might be like 5 years or 7 years.
Yeah, you can't blame this all on the coach.
Blame it on the owner.
I agree. Sell the team.
Yeah. We're not going to go totally down that road, but yeah, the Pistons are making some changes, and guess what? I believe tonight is the NBA draft.
Ooh.
I think it's tonight.
You know what? You might be right.
Yep. I think it's the NBA draft tonight, and then I know.
Let's see.
There's something else coming up too, man. I can't even keep up. I've been so busy.
The Rocket Mortgage Classic starts tomorrow, this weekend in Detroit.
Yeah, the draft is tonight.
Yep, NBA draft is tonight, and we don't even have a coach. Hip hip hooray!
That's hilarious.
Hey, it's the truth.
All right.
Hey, it is what it is, man. So
we will get back to the
I say since we have such a great producer, I think we let the producer pick our first draft pick tonight. What do you think, Mike?
Dr. Hooper?
Dr. Hooper.
I don't know.
You're on the clock.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Tigers are still, trying to fight for the wild card. They've been seesawing up and down. They're actually in the middle of a series right now. Today, as we're taping, they're in the middle of a series with Philly, which is a really good team. I think they're probably the best team in the league.
I'm kind of bummed I haven't been to a Tiger game yet. It's already the end of June, and I haven't been to a Tiger game yet.
Yeah, same here, but there's still time. There's still time, and I know I've heard some chirping of some some plans coming up.
Yeah.
With some organizations that we're involved in. So hopefully that'll happen here soon. And then as the days go by, what season are we getting closer to, Mike?
Football.
What?
Football.
That's right. We're already.
I don't have a countdown. I didn't check this morning.
We're basically at the end of June, though, right?
I know. I just got the invite to training camp. There's 4 opportunities. I'll be going to one of them for sure with my daughter. So we're looking forward to that. Season ticket. It's open to the public, but season ticket holders get 2 days that they're allowed, just them. So beat the rush. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, right around the corner, man.
Oh no, we're literally about halfway through the year. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Insane how the time flies.
It is.
Yeah. So what's going on in the real estate world, man?
Nothing's changed since 2 weeks ago, right? It's still a seller's market, still low inventory. I'm still out showing homes every weekend, showing $400,000 homes this weekend, running into just like the same thing as $200,000 homes, multiple offers in 2 days. Open houses, go to the open house. Yes, they have offers on the table. They're still holding the open house, which rightfully so, working for their sellers, looking for the perfect offer or giving everyone an opportunity. So But yeah, nothing much has changed. But houses are selling. It's still super hot. Great time to sell.
Yeah, market's hot, and the weather. We just got done
And
with
the
this
weather.
major heat wave all last week, right? I think
Yeah.
we were in the 90s every day last week here in Michigan.
Brutal.
And this week we're a notch down, like in the 80s. So it's been a lot nicer. I think we get some rain coming here, like shortly. I thought we were supposed to start getting some rain, some storms possibly coming through around this time.
It's been raining like every day.
Just about.
Turning
But
into Seattle.
I think we got some dry days coming up.
Good.
So.
Oh, I know. Important question. How are the rates?
How are the rates? They're still the same. Not as high as the temperatures last week, but but a lot of people feel that they're high.
Good answer.
A lot of people feel that they're high. They felt that they've been high, but historically, they're not really that bad. We're probably right where we should be, considering everything that's going on with the economy and everything else. It's just that a few years ago when they started to go up, they went up really quick because they were down so low.
Did I tell this story before? The first home I bought, I may have, but I'm going to tell it again. First house I bought, I was 24 years old. I bought it on a Mishta loan, 7.7% interest. I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing, right? I trusted the real estate agent and the lender, and they did a great job for me. But I remember being at the closing table, they're all like, wow, you did really good, 7.7. I'm like, did I? I don't know. I didn't know nothing about that. I just wanted a house,
Right.
Like I didn't know that was good or bad. I really didn't
You wanted a house
I
and you
didn't
knew you
even
could afford the
understand it.
payment and you qualified?
All I cared about was the payment I could afford, and I remember my house payment was $393, so under $400 a week. And but they were just going on and on about how great the 7.7 is, and I had never forgot that. And I always think, even when we were at the 299, it's like.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because it's kind of the same mindset today. As far as, obviously, when you buy a home, you want to be able to afford the payment. So it's kind of the same mindset. I mean, most buyers go in purchasing a home. It's just that they don't understand, and a lot of them don't realize all the ways you can be looked at and all the creative things that can be done to help you afford that payment. So that's something that we might talk about at another time. I actually. I was thinking about what we would talk about today, and, what I thought we'd talk about is not buying a house, but owning a home or selling a home. And owning a home, what kind of things can you do to the home? Let's say you buy a home, and it's a beautiful home. It's your dream home. It's in a great area. But you're not going to be there forever. But you still, the home's an investment, right?
Yep.
So you want to keep up the investment, and you might actually want to improve the investment, because by improving it, what does it do for you?
Brings up the value, right?
Brings up the value,
Yep.
right? So I figured we talk a little bit about what kind of things can you do, either major things or minor things, to help the value. And I know
The joys of home ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, being homeowners, we understand this, but also I know you actively are involved in, what a lot of people call home flips. Mm-hmm. So as far as, dealing with contractors, doing some things yourself, I actually used to do flip stuff. So,
Yeah, flip. It is a flip. They're flips, right? I don't know if I like that word that much.
Well, that's why I
anymore,
said, a lot of people call it that. But,
you could call it a rehab. You could just call it purchasing a home and updating it. Basically.
Right. Well, the only reason I brought that up is because a lot of times people buy a home for the first time and they don't have a clue. They don't have the experience. So they got to rely on someone, they got to ask for advice or do research or whatever. I thought we'd just talk about some things that you can definitely get a good return on if you improve in the home.
Absolutely. So the number one thing that I know is, and you've probably heard this before, what sells homes? Kitchens and bathrooms, right?
Exactly.
Kitchens and baths. So that, I think they've done studies on it. The number one for the highest return on investment, ROI, would be your kitchen and bathrooms. Now, depending on how crazy you go or how much you spend, you can't always expect that like within a year. Like, you can't expect it. It depends on, A lot of different. It's like everything in real estate. Everything's different, right?
Yeah.
Every situation is different, but those are definitely the two major ones: kitchens and baths.
Exactly, and that's what I'm talking about. Bringing that up, like you said, we're in the industry, so we've heard that for years, and there's a lot of people out there that have heard that as well, off and on. But especially for new homeowners or someone who's never maybe thought about doing a renovation or an upgrade in their home, start with the big ones. The big guns are the kitchens and baths, and
Kitchens
especially
and baths
the kitchen.
are the big one. Yeah, especially the kitchens.
Yeah.
And it depends on the house and your budget. You can go, you can do a kitchen rehab from like $7,000 to $60,000, right?
Exactly.
It depends on the size and how crazy you want to go, or how.
Well, yeah. If you think about it, I mean, you can take a kitchen and you can actually redesign and rearrange the entire kitchen.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I've seen a lot of people are doing, just more modern. They're redesigning the whole layout of the kitchen, even in smaller homes, like say in St. Clair Shores, smaller kitchens, but they're changing the layouts of them.
And same things with baths. I mean, kitchens usually are, obviously a larger room, and there's things that you could move around, like cabinets, appliances. The fridge used to be here, now we're going to put it there.
Yeah.
So there's all these different things. Whereas a bathroom in most cases is a lot smaller, unless you're living in a mansion. But bathrooms are usually a lot smaller, but still the same kind of applies.
Yeah.
You can change the vanity, you can change the tub or shower.
Yeah, there's always, and most of the time, there's only so much you can do. You're
exactly
limited
because
a little.
because of the space. But
we rehabbed our bathroom. We had it completely redone last year, and we had a lot of ideas and looked at a lot of stuff. We're like, well, it's not possible. We only have so much room. It's a small bathroom.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, this is nice, but the pictures we're looking at, but it's like there's only so much we can do, and it came out great. Shout out to Wallace Renovations LLC. He did a fantastic job. But yeah, there's so much you can do with the bathrooms. So you're right.
Yeah, and that's actually, I'm glad you just gave that shout out, because I wanted to not only bring up those things, and I want to bring up one other thing. I just wanted to get your opinion, because you being a real estate expert, a real estate professional, what kind of a bang for the buck do I get if I just deck out my basement?
Oh, it definitely helps. So a finished basement. Now that finished basement's the same thing. Every situation is different because everyone has their own version of a finished basement. I mean, I've seen some where they just painted the walls, painted maybe the rafters, no ceiling, and then carpeted and called it a finished basement. And, it looks nice. And I've seen some pretty nice ones, but then I've also seen them where they're totally decked out. You got to remember, so a finished basement adds living space. So usable. Appraisers might not use it all the time. They'll give you credit for a finish, but I mean, in the numbers, it's not going to change your square footage.
Okay.
But it's living space.
Yeah.
See, that's like a whole nother usable living space. Thanksgiving, you want the whole family over, you can put down a 12-foot table and have everyone over.
Yeah, and
because you got that big room.
You hit on the key things that I was thinking that should be brought up. Okay, you hit on the fact that it can be very valuable to the owner because it's extra living space. But you also brought up the fact that as far as numbers, it might not jive, because in our industry we call that below grade, right? Mm-hmm. So, when it comes to like an official quote unquote appraisal or something like that, you could put $40,000 into a basement and deck it out, make it into a man cave or whatever. But based on what you do and what your house looks like and everything else, you might not get $40,000 in value for it in an appraisal, depending.
In an appraisal you won't, but
yeah.
In the market you could.
Correct. Well,
in the market you
exactly,
could.
but that's what I mean. It would
broken
be valuable.
down in an appraisal. Probably no. He's not going to give you $40,000.
Exactly.
Or she. Yeah, but in the market may, that may help increase your overall price.
Well, yeah. So to a homeowner, if you own it, or to a potential buyer,
finished basement definitely adds value to a home for sure.
Yeah,
especially done nicely.
Great.
As does something simple as a nice patio or deck. Mm-hmm. That's something a little more low cost that is really nice. A lot of people like to sit on their patio or deck in the summer, enjoy the Michigan summers.
I agree totally. Now, what I'd like to do is I'm gonna segue off a little bit. We brought up some things that you can upgrade, renovate, rehab, whatever. What kind of things would you say? I'm a I'm a fairly new homeowner. I've owned the home for a couple years, and then I've got some projects in mind that I want to do. I mean, what kind of things would you say for someone as a first-time buyer that doesn't have a lot of experience with that stuff that I would stay away from trying to do by myself as a DIY? What kind of things should I stay away from?
Jeez, I guess it would depend on your talent, to be honest. Because I know some people, young and old, that are very talented, and some just have a knack for it. They're not even in the business. They're just, God-given talent that they can rehab. And then I've seen other ones, that where DIY has gone bad. So you see that a lot. Make sure. It just depends on your experience, to be honest. Most people know what they can really tackle or not. I've seen people that couldn't even paint. I've seen some of the worst paint jobs in the world. It's like, wow, who did this paint job?
And that's why I brought it up. Because
you can always tell the difference between a professional paint job, obviously, and a weekend guy. I can, but I'm talking. I've seen some that are like just horrible.
Yeah, but that's why I'm bringing it up. I guess the moral of the story is, know your limits, I guess.
Yeah.
Know what you can and can't do. Yeah, you once again, the reason we're bringing this stuff up, I think it's important for people to understand. Your home is for most people, it's one of the largest investments you're going to make.
Right.
And that it can be very valuable, and we already mentioned that you can increase the value with proper improvements. So, you really, if you're going to take on a project, whether it's big or small, I guess the big key is just make sure you understand your limits.
Set a budget, know your limits. Yeah.
Yep. And then, lean on people, talk to other people. Like if you've never replaced a toilet, but you think you can do it, and there's tons of YouTube videos out there on how to do it, do your research and maybe even talk to someone that's done it before, so you can really get a good feel for what kind of problems you might run into.
And sometimes you can just spruce something up. I call it spruce it up, like not a complete new kitchen, but maybe change the hardware on the cabinets and a new counter, or new tiles and new hardware on the cabinets, something like that. Give it a facelift.
Exactly, which gives me another segue, man.
Is it time?
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. But I'm going to segue into this, okay? So we touched on some home improvement things. I actually want to go into, you being a licensed realtor. One of the things you do is you list homes for sale, right?
Correct.
So I got a house. I'm ready to sell it. I call you, and one of the things you're going to do is we're going to set up some time where you're going to come out and look at the house. So give us some key things. I know every house is different. Every situation is different. But what are some basic things that you're probably going to point out to a potential seller?
Absolutely. And it seems so obvious, like hear me say it, but you'd be surprised how many times it's not done. Curb appeal. Curb appeal is huge. It's huge. It's a cliche. You get one chance to make a first impression, but it's true. So you can hire a professional photographer and take 50 beautiful digital pictures and put it online. But if that first picture, if the house looks terrible and it's overgrown with weeds and the windows are filthy and you got sheets for curtains hanging up and it all shows on the picture, they're not going to click through and look at the rest. Right?
Exactly.
So that's huge. And then same with driving by, or when they even when they pull up, so a realtor pulls up with their clients, they pull up the house. If the lawn is extremely long and weeds and just everything overgrown, it could be gorgeous inside, but they're kind of turned off the buyer. They're going to be like, wow, they're asking $250 for this. They're going to be turned off. So even though it could be, maybe you're not that lawn person, but they're going to go inside. They're already in their head, they're kind of turned off no matter how nice it is. So yeah, they could go, well, yeah, it's really nice, so we can fix this up. Yeah, that happens, but curb appeal, man. Curb appeal is huge. Trim the bushes, cut the grass. And it can be cheap, and I'm not talking like $40,000 in landscaping. You don't have to do that, but clean the windows. Have the lawn cut, throw down some weed and feed, a couple pots of flowers or something. Just curb appeal is huge.
Yeah, and
can't say it enough. It is huge.
And the reason I brought that up was because it's important. People need to realize that sometimes it's the simple things. Because you mentioned sprucing up when we were talking about that. A lot of times getting a home ready for sale doesn't mean you have to, repaint the whole home. Based on the home, based on your assessment when you walk in there, you might suggest that they don't paint or maybe paint a certain room.
I get that asked a lot, and sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not going to change anything.
Right. So, or putting in new carpet. You know what I mean? It's the reason I'm bringing this up, because a lot of times when a buyer comes in, they're kind of visioning how they want the house for them. Right. And that might mean changing a paint color or changing the flooring or carpeting or whatever. So
I had one sale. This is years back, and I was a listing agent, and we put in all new carpet. And at the closing table, the buyer's we're like, yeah, that carpet's brand new. I mean, no one's even walked on it. It's no one's even lived there while it was in there. It's like, yeah, it's nice, but I'm ripping it all up tomorrow.
Exactly. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But that's why it's important that someone that's looking to sell, that they consult with a professional like you.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes it makes sense to paint. Sometimes it makes sense to car. It depends. Again, every situation is different. That's why I usually do a quick walkthrough of a house before I give you a price or list it. Just get an idea of what you have. It's hard to go off of what people say it is on the phone. Yeah,
and that's why I'm bringing it up.
Because sometimes they downplay it and they make it sound like it needs a lot of work. I'll get there, I'm like, wow, this is really nice house. It's super clean. Cleanliness has a lot to do with it too. You could have a house that's not really updated, but it's super clean. It's going to sell.
Exactly. Yep. And I think that people selling, I think it's important that they get another set of eyes, a professional set of eyes, and a professional opinion. And I think that's why it's so important. You know what I mean? For you to come in and just kind of give your opinion and let them hear it and discuss.
Yeah, for sure. If someone's not emotionally attached, yeah.
Anything else that you can think of that you might, just for on average, besides curb appeal, is there something else that usually comes up as a question or something from potential sellers? Besides painting and flooring and stuff
should I do this? Should I paint? That's always a big one. Should I paint?
I think you did touch on an important thing: cleanliness.
Yeah.
Cleanliness and decluttering.
Declutter. Well, that's a whole nother. That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people even go, hire stagers. There's professional stagers you can get, but just decluttering. And of course, when I do my walkthrough, I always say, well, you don't have to do this now, but if we list it, I think you should get rid of this and, not because you got to live your life a different way when your house is on the market. Mm-hmm. When your house is for sale, I always tell people you have to live your life a little different. So you can't leave dishes in the sink. You got to make the bed. You got to,
Awesome points. So, it's that time.
Is it time?
Yeah, it's that time.
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
What time is it?
It's time for Under the Bus with David Underwood.
Under the Bus.
I have no idea what it is. We have no show prep.
Well,
that's why I said I'm scared. At any point, it could be me.
I felt like I had to throw someone under the bus, so I'm going to throw a category of people under the bus today. And this is not all of them.
Of course not.
Have you ever heard of a FSBO?
Oh, of course.
FSBO, FSBO, stands for sale by owner. There's a lot of people out there that feel that they can just sell their house on their own. And there are some people that can sell their house on their own.
And some are successful.
And some are successful, and some are successful like they want to be. But the ones I'm throwing under the bus are just the people that don't do the research, don't understand at all, don't ask for help, and just think that because they can throw a for sale sign in the yard and an ad on Zillow or forsalebyowner.com that they're going to be successful. those folks, I'm throwing you under the bus because there's a lot more to it. That's why, I always suggest you get with a professional like Mike, okay, if you're going to sell your home. Once again, there are some people that can do it, but you got to do it right. I tell people, if you're going to for sell on your own, you got to treat it like a job. Mini job, part-time job, whatever. Do your research. Make sure you're handling what you can handle, because you may, once you start doing that,
make sure you hire out what you need to hire out.
Exactly.
Almost like like we said, doing updates.
All these things that
almost
we
like
cover.
doing updates. Yeah.
You know what I mean? All these things that we covered. How do you need to spruce up your house? What kind of things are involved with curb appeal?
Who's holding the EMD? That's my favorite to ask a FSBO.
Exactly.
And usually the response is,
What's an EMD? Exactly. So that's what I'm throwing on the bus this week, and I think we're up against it, aren't we, Dr. Hooper?
Oh yeah. We're just over 30 minutes.
Okay.
Awesome. This was our double-digit show. This was episode 10.
Yep. And then I think that's it for today. So as I sip on my liquid death, I'm going to ask you, Mike, how can people get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you?
Mike Mitchell, call or text 586-291-2652. Find me on the web, mikemitchell.realtor.
And for myself, David Underwood, you can reach me, text or call, 248-219-3457. And another shout out to our great producer, Walter Hooper of WA Hooper Marketing. Thanks for everything you do, sir.
I appreciate you both.
And until next time, don't forget to subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel. Check us out on Spotify. Please like and share our podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.